Hi everyone, welcome to Hub United. We're back again. I think it's been a while we made our last show, and today Eric is with me. We'll be going over preseason if we can. We'll go over what I call it, briefly about the match, talk about the match against Wolves if we can, because probably we just want we have a short window here, and also the game against Tottenham. We have tomorrow transfers. Probably, I wouldn't like to do it for have time. Probably talk about Eric give us his viewpoint on Mason Greenwood, and then probably we can wrap up the show with any questions. So, most likely we won't have questions because we're actually pre-recorded, not live. Okay, Eric, how you doing?
I'm good. It's been a long wait. The EPL is back on. Summer has been nice, although not the kind of summer I was expecting in the midst of mix of rain and sun. But all in all, we're good. Just glad to have the season back. Football is back on the TV. And maybe this Christmas break, I'll take a trip down to Old Trafford and see a game or two. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Good.
I'm looking forward to the show today.
Good. It's good to be a good trip to go to Old Trafford. Unfortunately, when I went to England, London, I didn't have enough time to visit Old Trafford. Hopefully, not hopefully, I think I would get back there to England and visit Old Trafford again sometime this year. Okay, let's get the show starting. First, our last game we won against Wolves. What's your thoughts? I know everyone has different piece to it. What's your thoughts?
Okay, first of all, I would like to start by saying I wasn't expecting anything spectacular when it came about the game. Now, you asked me why. It's because we've always had issues with Wolves. Whenever we play Wolverhampton, we've always had it. It's always a tight game. Just maybe 1-0 win, 2-0. It's always been playing Wolves either away or at home. It's always been a very tight game. That being said, I was expecting a few things in terms of the shape, right? In terms of how we were going to play the game. I know everybody were prior to that game. Most people had the scoreline of 3-0. 3-1, 4-0. In my head, I was like, no, this is not gonna happen. First of all, when was the last time we did so well against a team that just lost their manager and getting a new manager? That was one of the things that was playing at the back of my mind, and also knowing fully well that we're going to be playing against Wolves. That also didn't give me that much confidence, but I just felt we had enough to get the 3 points. One, we were playing at Old Trafford. Two, we have the personnel in terms of experience and skill sets to just get the point, just get over the line. I wasn't surprised it was that kind of a game. The only shock I had was the fact that Wolves had the hot knife. We were the border. They were just cutting through the midfield. So I didn't understand what was happening at first, right? Because I said to myself, this new season, if the Glazers are still going to be in charge, then I won't be doing so much of complaining. I won't be doing so much. I won't be stressing myself to actually talk when all we do is talk.
I know.
These guys, they don't pay attention. So I might as well just chill like the way they are chilling and just see whatever comes up. It's their club. It's my club to support. My duty to support the team. But when the people that own it don't want to do anything about it, we've been talking since the past 15, 17 years that these guys, even when we're doing well, these guys they don't take us as they see the club, they don't see the fans. It's like, oh, we just walk past them and go do our business. They don't even acknowledge. So I said this season I wasn't going to be too critical on anything, manager wise or the players, but that game, I think Eric Ten Hag got he got his tactics, I would say, a little bit wrong, because in the first half you saw what was happening. I was expecting him to make a few tweak and just close this channels that Wolves players were having. Right? But it felt like, no, we're going to stick with our guns. We're going to stick with the game plan. We're lucky not to be down 3-0
Like
or 2-0 at half.
like last season we had with Brighton, I believe.
Yeah, we're lucky not to be down. No, Brentford. We're
Brentford,
lucky
okay.
not to be down at 3-0, right? So, uh, my own consolation or my own positive take is 3 points in the bag.
That's good.
Not a good start, but 3 points in the bag. It's better to play bad and have the 3 points, in my opinion.
Yep.
I'm not lowering standards here. I'm just saying, in my opinion, there are some days where you will play extremely good football and you will lose,
Yeah.
or you will draw and it will feel like a loss, right? So, um, playing bad and getting the 3 points, that's the only positive I have.
Okay.
Every other thing is just what it is. It's like what they're the saying. However you make your bed, that's how you lie on it.
I agree
So
with you.
if the Glazers think they've done good with this transfer window, then the result would show.
Okay.
That's all I have to say concerning that.
Yeah, just again, I'm just a bit of my thoughts in that match. I believe again, we mentioned Eric Ten Hag got some few things wrong from a tactical perspective. That's correct. Looking at the midfield, I believe we could have done better in terms of, let me say, instructions, or probably more so, how will I call this again, where you basically having lesser players moving forward. Because I see Mount and Bruno were two up, leaving Casemiro in the midfield, and in that, while I know it reads the game so well, at the same time it's difficult when you have lots of people running through you, again, like you mentioned, like a knife through butter. Hopefully we get it right against Tottenham, because if we go the same route, most likely we'll lose. Okay, but again, good thing we had the win, played bad, and lost, and hopefully we play better against Tottenham. And but I'll get your thoughts and we win. What do you think, though, in terms of Tottenham? What changes will you make, right, going into the Tottenham game?
Okay, I thought we were gonna leave the Tottenham game for last, but
Okay.
now that you brought it up, let's just okay. I'm gonna say this. It might come as a shock to you or to anybody that's gonna be listening to this. We're not gonna win.
We're not gonna win.
We're gonna
We're
lose.
gonna lose.
We're gonna lose.
We're gonna lose Tottenham.
No, this is why we're gonna lose. Now, why I say we're gonna lose? Um, we're going away.
Yes.
Now, if we set the record straight from last season in terms of how we went away to the top six and we got what, just 1 point or two, if my memory serves me right. If we correct that tomorrow, if we get a win in at the White Hart Lane tomorrow,
Yes.
then I would believe, or I would have a little bit of hope going to the season, saying, okay, our away woes, our away horrors, like the nightmare for us last season was going the way to the top six and just getting battered, and but deep down I just feel like we're going to lose because of the midfield. I don't see us doing anything spectacular in that midfield. If we set up the way if Eric, which I don't believe he's going to do, because he's more of like a good tactician, right? He learns his lesson from the previous game, the mistakes and all of that. He would have watched the videotape from the Wolves game over and over again and see and do his analysis. But one of the major reasons why I think we might lose the game. Let me not say we're going to lose. Let me say we might lose.
Okay.
I don't have confidence in us getting the 3
Makes
points,
sense.
which we deserve. Which we need.
Okay.
If he makes the correction, do I believe the players on the pitch have it in them to adjust to that correction, to actually effect that change? No. Some of them still look like they they've worked like some of them still look like the previous season. The heavy schedule still weighing on them. I don't think they've. So I just hope for the best for tomorrow, but I'm not. If it turns out that we lost the game, I won't be too bad because it's not like I'm expecting it, but I just feel like these players won't be. Will they be able to effect the change that the manager would have identified and want to correct those mistakes and want to correct? That's just my take. If you ask me how to go about the game, I think giving putting Rashford on the left, playing what's his name, Sancho, excuse me, as the false nine, then having Anthony right coming. Before I continue, I would say this: I commend Ten Hag for the last game by pulling out Anthony out and giving Pelestri
Um, they go right.
a game some time, right? Because Anthony you could see the directness in Pelestri. You could see how direct it was. He had the ball. He wants to run at them. Not like Anthony doesn't do it, but I think Pelestri, because he's right-footed and plays on the right wing and all of that, it's an advantage for him. He has this directness as well as he's been taught on how to come back defensively. Defensively, he's not as sound as Anthony, right? But I like the fact that Ten Hag is gave Pelestri that minute, so it shows Anthony like you're not your starting 11 or you playing the whole 90 minutes is not a guarantee. If you don't do what I want you to do, you are my player. But if you don't do what I want you to do, there's somebody there that's going to take the spot. So looking forward to tomorrow's game is I would play Sancho as the false nine. If Masha is not fit, I'll play Sancho as the false nine. Give Anthony a run at the wing. Then I would start Bruno. Eriksen, and Casemiro. Because if you look at the last game, the minute Eriksen and Sancho came into the game, we had a little bit of control.
Agree.
We had people that could keep the ball. So we don't want to give Tottenham the same amount of possession that Wolves had against us in the first half. They would score. They have more clinical finishers in Richarlison, right? I don't really count on maybe Son as well, right? So I trust our backline to hold their grounds and do their part, but it's just the midfield. That's where there's a serious disconnect in that place, and I don't understand why it's so difficult for the owners of the club to actually see the plan. Like, even if you're not a football person, which they are not, right? How about you employ personal, like special advisor, or how they do these things? Employ somebody that is football inclined, soccer inclined, like they call it in the US, soccer inclined. That will tell you, okay, this is the blueprint. This is what the manager is thinking of doing. So this is why you need this player. This is why I need that player. Because I don't think John Murtough does a good job. I don't think Darren Fletcher does a good job. I don't think those guys have the ears of the owner. It's more like, oh, what I tell you to do, you do. If you come to me and I'm taking a dump and I tell you to wait, you have to wait. So I don't think they have it. That is my opinion. I don't think they have it sit down dialogue with the Glazers and be like, okay, now this is the blueprint. You guys have to give us this to make this thing work. They just, I don't know. But I just feel I'm not too confident. The bottom line is I'm not too confident tomorrow. If it turns out that we get a draw, I'm not looking forward to a draw. I really, as a Manchester United fan, every game to me is a win. But right now, it's looking
bleak.
The confidence is not there. It's not really there.
So if probably honestly for my take, I'd be I'm hoping we'll win. Now, in terms of, I think Ten Hag over time has proved that he can. Sometimes though, he has proved that he can on a very difficult match tactically win a match. And I believe personnel can enable us win that game tomorrow. So, but you just have to use the right personnel. I wouldn't start Bruno and Mount. I'll probably start one. Probably Bruno, Eriksen. That's why it's tough because when you say Eriksen and Casemiro, there's no defensive cover, right? That's why we need Amrabat. So I think that's why he might still go for might still go for Mount, because Mount has energy. My question is that why do we buy Mount if Fred was doing the same thing? I know Mount has a bit of quality, which I haven't seen till now. I'm not doubting. Probably with time, it will settle. But I believe though, I'll probably start with what I called to get a balanced game. You might probably be shocked about this. I'm not a fan of him. Bruno, Scott McTominay, and
Casemiro.
Casemiro in the midfield.
Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of Scott McTominay, but he, over time, he's found a way to do the job. He does the job. Maybe if you're gonna give him a score, maybe 5/10, an average. So, I don't know. As Manchester United, right? Like I said earlier, I don't want to complain too much. I'm not even going to talk about how bad a player is, but whether he's good enough or he's not good enough. We've been speaking this thing. We've been talking about these things over and over from the days of Lingard, Pereira, and McTominay in the midfield, and Fred. We've been talking about these things, that these guys are not good enough. These guys are not good enough. We've been talking. I know as a fan, all we have to do is keep talking and putting the pressure on the owners, yeah. Right? But it comes to a point where you just be like, okay, this talk, what is it doing? Because these guys up there, they're not listening.
I agree. I do with you.
So that's. I just pray that tomorrow we get it right.
Okay.
They execute the plan that the manager set. If they execute the plan, and if it turns out that the original plan was faulty, then the blame goes to Eric Ten Hag.
If they say if someone comes in and say if you say pick your 11 tomorrow, that you think would win the match, where what will you pick?
I'll start on the goalkeeper Onana for sure. Yeah. Varane and Lisandro Martinez. Okay. Luke Shaw on the left back, Wan-Bissaka on the right.
Right? Yeah, it's a very difficult match.
Wan-Bissaka on the right, because those guys, they will want to attack. Yes, okay. Yeah. I was expecting Dalot to play the role.
Yes.
But Wan-Bissaka on the right? Yeah. Casemiro, like I said, Eriksen, and Bruno. Right? First half. Because first half, give Eriksen the game to control. Now, if something is not going right with Eriksen, you pull him out, right? Then, like I said, Anthony on the right, Sancho on the middle false nine. Then what's his name? Rashford on the left. In which the way we're going to set it up, I'll tell the three of them. The instruction for the three of them is play the first half, the first 20, 30, 25 minutes. Let's see how it's going. If I need all three of you to actually, at one point in the game, or if you can do it 3 times in the first half, switch position. Sancho goes to the right, Rashford goes to the middle, Anthony goes to the left, like that. Let's just engage, give them different options, like give them different options, or different headache. Let me put it that way. Give them different headache to have. Like if Anthony is getting the best of his man, I might say, okay, you know what, stick to it. But if Anthony is not getting the best of his man, switch. Just rotate the 3 of them and see. Because Rashford doesn't want to play as a 9, but he does no harm if he does switch for a period of time, giving Anthony chance to be on the left, or Sancho. So that's my starting 11.
Okay, I think the only difference I'll make in that starting 11 basically is McTominay instead of Eriksen, just to at least steady the game, because Spurs will come very hard, steady the game.
But if you have a McTominay and we have the ball, we're still going to be playing hot potato football.
Yeah, no. So
because McTominay gets it, you need somebody to retain the ball. So if you have now, it doesn't make sense you have someone like a Sancho. If Martial is fit, good. Put Martial there. He holds the ball, bringing players
close
to the game, like bringing people to him and dish it out, right? But if it's only Sancho, which we don't really quote unquote trust to play that false 9, but he's been doing it. I like him in that position, right? if it's only Sancho doing the whole ball retention thing, because Bruno likes the Hollywood and the killer pass, he will keep doing it, and I don't fault him for it. That is his style of play,
Great.
and Ten Hag has come to Ten Hag likes it, right? He is a risk taker. I remember the time we're going in from Bruno. One of the things that they said
Yeah.
he was used to was the fact that he loses
A
possession
lot.
often. I think that was what they say it turned us
The
off
first
during
time.
the
Yeah.
summer window. Yeah. So, but we need somebody that can hold the ball. That's why on the heel of Frankie De Jong is where I die.
So I know you keep saying that, right?
Yes,
They should do
if you can
anything to
get
bring
me a
Frankie De
Frankie
Jong.
De Jong or a Frankie De Jong like player, right, in that our midfield, you see the front five or the front five that we always flog when we do bad, you will see them come alive. Because imagine a Frankie De Jong having the ball, driving with the ball. All Casemiro needs to do is win the ball, give it to this guy. This guy is press resistance, drives the ball to the final third of the pitch, and our attacking third. Use then get Anthony has an idea of the kind of type play he makes. Sancho is a give and go kind of player. You will see these guys come alive, right? So if I was hoping, that's why it's so sad to see him get injured in the preseason. Kobe Mainoo. I was hoping that because he has that
He
although he's still
has
young,
he has both.
in him.
Like
Yeah, he has it
both.
in him.
Yeah.
So, but let's just keep fingers crossed and just hope the Glazers does what they do. Like the last day or 2 days to go in this transfer window, they start looking for credit card to dust off the TF and check it and see if it works, if they tap.
Okay. Okay. So we're probably quickly though. What's your take so far on this transfer window? I'll probably give you first of all, if you had to probably in terms of price, that's in income is now price. How would you rate the three players so far with Gotham?
I'm no financial analyst, right? So I really don't care about money,
Okay. Yeah.
whether you spend it or
Yeah.
not, right? As long as you give me value for my money.
Yes.
If I go to the restaurant and they tell me, and I'm hungry, and they tell me, oh, this dish is this price. By the time I order it, I want the dish, I order it, and I taste it, and it tastes awful. I'm going to tell you, yo, this thing tastes awful,
Yeah.
right? So I really don't bother about the price.
Yeah.
So far, so good. We have Onana with very decent goalkeeper. What Ten Hag wants, right? In terms of the profile and the skill set, right? And we have we brought in Mason Mount, which again he didn't have a good season. He didn't have a good season, good time out last season, right? And he's coming to a new team. He's going to build back his confidence. Right now I think he's even low on confidence. Seeing what my advice for him is just take yourself off social media. You don't even see your PRO team or whoever is in charge of your Twitter and all of that. Tell them not to tell you anything. They should handle it however they want to handle. They shouldn't just be blank. Focus on yourself. I believe he's going to come good.
Yeah.
He shouldn't just put too much pressure on himself. He's going to come good. Then the last guy, which is Rasmus Højlund.
I can't pronounce it. I won't try.
Yeah, it's Højlund. Right? So I'm not this rubbish there. That guy's gonna come good.
Okay.
Right? That guy's good. For the first time in a long time we've actually had a young striker who fits what all we've been calling out for.
Okay.
Right? So, but it's not enough. It's not.
I know it's not enough. So if third player, I think they are good. Onana to me good. Mount again. Mount is.
I would give Mount. See, honestly, Mount is not a bad
No, it's
player.
not a bad
He
player,
won
no, it's not a
Chelsea
bad
Player of the
player. It's not a
Year,
bad player.
I think 2 times in a row, or
player.
even 2 times in three seasons, right? It's not a bad player. It's just that I feel he needs time to acclimatize. He needs time to gel, and he needs time to know the system. This is a new system for him.
And I think as United fans, we need to support Mount, right? Because again, lots of fans out there, mainly rival fans, want him to fail. We need to support him. Probably because I think it might be a bit short of confidence once he knows we're behind him, regardless of what the opposition say. I think Mount will be fine. I think I like Mount naturally. I told you I like Mount naturally, and hopefully he can actually do well and probably play himself
No,
smoothly into Ten Hag's system.
I think I think I was in a space some three weeks back or 4 weeks back, and I before this, yeah, I think it was 4 weeks back, and I told them, I said it was a Manchester United fan space, and I was like, yo, please, I know we all have our differences, right? But these are our players, from the Maguires to the Mason Mounts to the Oiland to Rashford. These are our players. In house, we can talk about them and fight and do it out. But outside, it's I told them it's like a parent that has kids, has 5 kids, and two of them are not doing pulling their weight in terms of how the parents want them to go to live, right? But you don't. The parents talk about it in house. They don't go outside and lash them outside.
Okay.
Talk about it in. So I told them in house we can actually talk whatever we want to say, but out there in the public domain,
So
let's back these
yes,
guys. These guys. They play for us. They're the reason why we jump out of the shares. They're the reason why we are sad, and sometimes the reason why we're excited. So
because
as a Manchester United, I'm calling. I'm just using the opportunity to just. And no, I was going to say something before we started. I was going to say I commend all Manchester United fans, all of them around the world, all of them, because it's not easy to be owned by these parasites. Like you support a club that is being owned by them parasites, right? And another thing is, I was going to do a call like, yo, these are our players. I know some of them are not good enough, but as long as they pull on that shirt, right? Just try weight behind them. In this whole Harry Maguire not going to West Ham, I've kept my mouth shut. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be drawn into this. Even in the Greenwood issue, I leave everything to the club to deal with. If the club deem it fit that in terms of Maguire, if they say okay, they don't want 30, they can't pay him off, then so be it. Because I don't see what's there. You collect 30 million from him for him. How about you just give him 7? If you really want him to go, you really have eyes of upgrading your center back roles, your center back personnel. How about you just say, okay, you know what? You have to cut your loss. You're already cutting it. You have to cut your loss and say, okay, you know what? For the good of the club, have this and go. I know I'm not saying this is right, but if you look at it from a legal, I've heard people talk about it. Look at it from the legal and contractual point of
yeah,
view. The people said he has a right to actually claim some level of settlement.
no, he does, because he has a contract, and rightly what you said, rightly. So if when we all say we trust the manager, we like the manager, we believe in the manager. If we believe in the manager, probably I think we'll have less criticism for these players, because then the manager, who is a professional, knows way better than us, right? While we can question some of his decisions, but I think, right, if he says in his mouth, there's a reason in his mouth, right? I think then the fans need to follow suit and support the manager and the team. Except we're saying otherwise, whereby it's not clear from an eye perspective that the manager then is not what we call it's not making decisions that suit what they call the club. Now, I know we're almost out of time. I've already asked you about we spoke about the Wolves game. We spoke about Tottenham games tomorrow. We spoke about transfer window. I know we'll have more time probably tomorrow when we come together again. Do you think? I think let's leave this for later. The probably ask you about what your thoughts on Greenwood. Apparently,
No, my thoughts on Greenwood is simple.
okay.
It's very
Okay.
simple. I'm not. People might call me, oh, this one doesn't want to pick a side. See, I have decided to leave
To the
everything
club.
to the
Makes
club.
sense.
You can't take away my peace in terms of how poorly you run the club,
Yes.
how you don't pay attention to the fans.
Yes.
Not just in this case, several
Yeah.
cases,
Yeah.
right? How you do things just because of the money.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to a very sensitive topic or a very sensitive case like this, you want to put fans to get like you want to make fans to have like a fight, or how will I put it? Put two like
Probably
holding
more
two
like
fans
yeah.
together, using the head to hit on each other and have them have some sort of conflict amongst themselves. Why you just sit back and no, I'm not going to be caught out in that drama that they are trying to create.
Okay.
If you believe from your investigation that this boy is not found guilty and what's not, and you decide to say, okay, you know what, we're going to reinstate him back into the playing squad and all of that, show some strength, have some BALLS, big ones, and say this is what we want to do, and stand by it. Because I think it's Newton. One of the Newton's law is to every action there's an equal opposite reaction. For every, even the Bible says for every there's a consequences for it. So the wages of sin is death. The consequences of sin is, so there's always consequences for our actions, our choice. So if you're man enough, you're bold enough to make a decision of reinstating him back into the club, then stand by it. If you say, you know what, we're not going to bring him back into the club, from our investigations, things weren't clear, we didn't have a clear cut, but we're going to stand with the morals of the fans and say, no, we're not bringing you back into the club, then stand by it. I'm not going to be the one, because I go on Twitter and I see people, oh, he can't come back to the club for morals. Yo, first of all, there's no moral. I would say, I for one, in my opinion, in my opinion, you can come preach to me anytime. I don't think there's morals in football anymore. It's long gone.
No, so I am 100% agree with you.
Okay, wait, sorry to cut you. Finally, another thing, people might say I'm leaning. I'm not leaning. We all say Manchester United is built on culture, on values, and on togetherness in terms of how the club started with the club for the people and all of that.
Yeah.
I leave it out there. Who is a better club to actually have the level of reform for people?
No, I honestly I agree with you. I think that there are so many things involved. People that have had these issues in the past, right? People that probably again. So for me though, my stance is this: if John Motter believes he has evidence not out there in the public, right, that proves otherwise to what they call Greenwood being that prevents Greenwood from coming back to the club from a moral perspective, I think it's fine. He can make a decision, because I know from a law perspective it's fine, but I think more so it's not a moral perspective. They are doing their own.
But if you want to use the moral standard to actually judge a case that's supposed to be a criminal case, it's just me thinking, right? And it's vice versa. You want to use the moral code to judge a case. Remember, first things first, I'm going to point this out there. I don't trust the owners of the club to do the right thing.
Yes, I agree with you. Mm-hmm.
I don't trust them to do the right thing. So why are we... No, we don't trust them to do the right thing. People are saying, no, I'm going to stop supporting the club if Greenwood comes back. How about you take that same energy and channel it to the fact that we have people that can really
make proper decisions,
make good decisions for the club.
Because what you're saying that,
in your opinion, bringing Greenwood back is one of the wrong decisions to make. Yet the Glazers have made several wrong decisions that have brought the club where it is now.
Yeah.
If this club has been held on high standard, the minute this thing happened, they would have come to terms with him and say, okay, you know what, this thing has happened, you're bringing us down, let's get a severance pay for you. Okay.
Yeah. Again, to your point, right? The hierarchy, the heritage is what that really matters. And I believe if they had a structure of discipline, right? Because they would have shown and what they call it,
that's what they want to make us to believe, that he's had history of arrogance.
But if you look at right with England with Foden, has had some of this history.
No, but that's the truth. So that's why I was saying that. So if you notice, you are a manager in a company, and you notice some of your subordinates, some of your subordinates, your staff, they are not performing. They have some level of attitude. It's not in your place, but as a manager, for the betterment of your department and your section of the company to be better, You call these guys out. I'm like, okay, is there a problem? Is there
I
something
think
we can work?
all I meant that if there were rules written out for everyone,
Yes, but
some of
so that's why I said I don't trust the owners of the club or Richard and the CEO or the director. I don't trust them to make the right decision. The only person that has come in there to make that have been making good decisions that we've been seeing is Eric Ten Hag.
yeah,
Imagine if it was a different. If okay, take for example, imagine if it was Ole in this situation.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Same Ole that
That's what I'm saying. Like if Tenag was here initially, probably this thing would have happened because perhaps most
simple
Greenwood's
because he would have
habits,
set
or
rules.
probably would have
Yeah, he would have set
it would have
rules.
set rules, right? Probably would have eliminated some of these things, and probably with those rules, we might not have gotten to this stage where
To this extent, even if we had gotten to this extent, even if we had gotten this, he would have been able to deal with it because apparently, quote unquote, report had it that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in the know of what happened, but I don't believe that. But I'm just saying, report had it that way, right? So if there was high standards,
set.
if the standard that David Gill and Sir Alex set for this club, even back to Sir Matt Bobsey and all of that set on this for the club, if that standard has been held high, I don't think any of this will be happening.
Yeah.
So when people are going at having putting morals and not putting morals, putting the withdrawal of the case or drop charges against moral and all of that, when people are doing this, I just sit back and look at them like, you guys are just fighting the lost cause. Because for me, the final decision, you and I can have it. Don't come back. Like I said, I'm neutral. Whatever the club decide to do, I go with them. You understand? Not like I support. When I saw the whole thing, the first thing that came into my mind is the lady. Yo, this is not good. Like you and I saw it, and the first thing that we said, yo, this guy. You and I said it. This guy's done. Because those recordings and the pictures and everything didn't look good. This guy's done, right? Right now. I'm still more concerned for the victim, quote and unquote, the lady, as to Greenwood. Honestly, I don't really care about. I wouldn't say I don't care about Greenwood because if he comes in and start playing, I would throw my like I support other Manchester United players. I would support him, but my concern is the lady in a better place now because people talk about Stockholm syndrome and all of that, right? I don't think that's her case because she has a parent and all of that to actually she has parents to actually look after her and actually give her some good advice and take her to the best psychiatrist and all of that and emotional therapist and all of that, right? But I'm saying my concern is she in a better place?
From what they say.
That's every time I think about the case and I see people fight online, I'm just asking, God, hope she's in a better place. Hope.
I think again. I don't know. I don't know if she's in a better place. They moved on together in terms of had a child, which probably to me is a bit weird. But again, they're adults. They can decide what they want. At the end, though, let me just leave it at the end. We leave the decision to the club. Hopefully they make the right decision, and if they are bringing Greenwood back, it should probably be based on evidence that's not out there that probably diffuses what we saw, right? And if he doesn't come back, to me, it's fine. Like honestly, if I were Greenwood, I'll probably just leave the club. Honestly, no drama. The club, please, you can leave, so I can move ahead from this. That's if I'll move ahead from this and start what they call
I've thought about that several times. Like he waking up and tell them, you know what, I'm done with this, right? Let's just go our separate ways. But what if it turns out tomorrow? Because there's some things that we don't know. What if it turns out tomorrow that there's another somebody out there that ends up having a problem with the lady and decide to now say, okay, you know what, I'm just saying, I'm not, like I said, my concern is hope the lady is in a better place. What if Greenwood is trying to protect this lady in terms of, you know how this, okay, my question to you now is, if they come out and reveal the piece of evidence,
they shouldn't,
or the group,
they shouldn't.
No, I'm just saying, if they come out and say, okay, this is the reason why the case was dropped. Let's say, for example, quote and unquote, I'm just creating something. Nothing is not real. Let's say, for example, they come and say, okay, the case was dropped because of these reasons, and part of it was the fact that, oh, these things were just made up. We're not really. It wasn't some like it was just to get Greenwood not to go anywhere. It was just the makeup stuff, right? Was the first, like, quote, that's the word I've been looking for. False allegation, and it's out there with proof, like a little bit of proof to say, okay, it was false allegation. The lady is gonna get it.
No, that's what I'm saying, Ryan. Whatever United do, we don't need more evidence. No, make a decision and what they call and stick to it. Period. Don't give more evidence. In this I want to trust the is it Arnold?
My guy say,
No,
my guy say, I want
to
trust
honestly, because for me, I want to trust them to, like, you know what, duty of care on both sides, and also to make the right decision. It shouldn't.
Okay, I understand.
It shouldn't be a commercial.
Put that into consideration, and
it shouldn't be a commercial decision. It should be based on, you know what, the real fact and the truth. And the truth is there is something that probably, again, mentioned, that fuses what we saw, then fine. If there's nothing, then please, you can move ahead. Just to give everyone peace, because there's so much back and forth. For me personally, I can't forgive Greenwood and move ahead. But then there are lots of people that are impacted, so we have to think about those impacts that might be impacted.
To human, to forgive is divine, right? That's the same. If the lady is forgiving him, who am I? Why am I holding things against him, right? But the truth is, now we have to strike a balance between morality and evidence.
Yeah.
So we should not put ourselves at the point where we say, okay, because we have too much morals, we are going to just read and run with what we think suits our morality.
Yes. You have to look at the evidence.
And ignore what people are saying in terms of if in terms of new evidence came to light, and people are assuming, he paid her off and all. What if like they say, if you don't have the transcript of what happened,
if you have the full, if you don't have the full picture, then just keep short.
Then it's like me coming to you telling you, my partner or my wife did something to me, and you're already taking a decision. You see me with a court and all of that, and you're already saying, your wife has to go, your partner has to go, without even hearing from her. So we have to put everything. That's why you're saying, did you want them to bring the evidence? Me, I'm saying, keep us
because you know why, right? Because if they bring something else, right, I don't want any other party getting backlash. Just keep to yourself and make a decision.
Okay, fine. I understand you don't want any other party getting backlash. What if people that are actually saying they don't want him back in the club are actually saying it? They are in their right to say it, but they're actually saying it with half truth. Because in medicine, there's something called false positive and false negative, as well as true positive and true negative. So what if they are working with more like a false positive? So you need to give them everything so they have a reassessment of the situation and be like, okay, if they still stand, so they can now move their false positive to a true positive and stand with their decision.
Honestly,
if it was a false positive from the start, then because that's how I see.
If we listen,
that's why when you asked me, I told you it was a very simple thing. I don't want to be caught up in whether here or here. I already know what I think. I already know what I want. And what I want is, so nobody go and insinuate. What I want is the fact the club should make a decision.
The right decision.
Now, it's whether it's good or bad, should make a decision. Whether it's in favor of the people that don't want him or it's in the favor of the people that want him. Make a bloody decision and stand by it.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
For me, again, make a decision with the correct facts. And it shouldn't be with
the correct part.
It shouldn't be a commercial decision. It should be a decision.
And it shouldn't be an emotional decision.
It shouldn't be an emotional decision as well. Yeah. Okay, we've come to the end of today's show. Again, I'm not sure if Eric, you might probably be busy tomorrow. If you're not, probably we'll do a watch along or probably do an after-match reaction. It's good again to have you guys here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.